Next on CTN News.
The search continues for the man who robbed a fast food restaurant in Coon Rapids over the weekend. Plus, an unusual sight at the Coon Rapids Dam after a problem with a gate sends the Mississippi River spilling out of its banks. But first,
it's an exciting thing, and I think my staff also feels very excited for this opportunity.
District 11 releases expansion plans to accommodate student growth next fall. That tops CTN News this Friday, February 13th, 2015.
Thanks for joining us. 2 elementary schools in the district are about to grow, adding 15 classrooms and other learning spaces.
The additions come after 6 others were completed, including 3 here in Coon Rapids. CTN's Joe Nelson explains how the expansions are being funded and why the district says the space is needed.
I don't have a hard hat yet, but I'm pretty excited about that prospect.
For the first time next fall, about 150 new kindergartners from Ramsey will get to know these Anoka halls and new classrooms that have yet to be built. Anoka Hennepin Chief Operations Officer Chuck Holden says sending students to Wilson is an alternative parents agreed to when building in Ramsey was too difficult.
We just couldn't handle that extra capacity. So we looked at alternatives that were in proximity to Ramsey, and Wilson is in a great neighborhood and it's got the potential for expansion.
Soon this playground will be torn down to make room for 4 kindergarten classrooms and other rooms for art, learning, and music. 7 miles to the east, Johnsville Elementary is preparing for longer lists of shorter people.
The city has a plan of probably 4,000 housing starts in the next 15 years, and they're digging holes right now.
Students in Blaine won't have to go far, with additions of 9 new classrooms planned to connect to the current structure.
As soon as the frost is out of the ground, we hope to start digging. Projects that typically in industry would take a year, for us we try and do it in 2 to 3 months.
Holden says Coon Rapids schools have the potential to see growth too, but not yet.
Coon Rapids is just waiting to explode. Right now there's still, although Sand Creek Elementary is growing, the other schools are in a slight decline in that area. So we're watching it very closely, but it's very stable right now.
With many schools struggling with declining enrollment over the years, staff at Wilson say they understand how fortunate they are.
That's an exciting thing. Anytime you bring new people into that community, you have new ideas and extra support. So that's a winning situation.
The projects will be funded within the existing budget. Holden says bidding on the construction of the expansion projects will happen next Tuesday, and a recommendation will be made at the next board meeting on February 23rd. Remodeling and other upgrades to current structures are also part of the plan. Stephen Karen.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
The Anoka Hennepin School District continues its search for a new school board member following the death of Scott Wenzel. Next Wednesday, 5 candidates interested in the District 5 seat will be interviewed at the Educational Service Center in Anoka. An appointment is expected to be made at the February 23rd school board meeting. The successful candidate will serve the remainder of Wenzel's term, which expires at the end of this year. District 11 is looking at several different scenarios as it projects budgets for 2016 and 2017. The worst case scenario, a 0% increase to the general education formula, would cause a $7 million deficit in 2016 and a $20 million deficit the following year. The governor is proposing a 1% increase, which would leave a nearly $5 million deficit the first year of the biennium and almost $15 million in year 2. District 11 officials say it would take a 4% formula increase to balance the budget.
A Burnsville man accused of kidnapping and sexually assaulting 2 Andover teens he met online has entered a plea. On Wednesday, 23-year-old Casey Chin pleaded guilty to 2 counts of kidnapping and 2 counts of criminal sexual conduct. Sentencing is set for April 1st. Back in September, 2 13-year-old girls disappeared and were discovered the next morning at the home Chin shares with his parents in Burnsville. Chin, who was a youth coach, told investigators he met the girls on the website Omegle and agreed to pick them up near their homes in Andover.
The search continues for the man who robbed a fast food restaurant at gunpoint over the weekend. The incident happened late Saturday night at the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen in the Riverdale area. Witnesses say a man with a white bandana covering his face entered a back service door, walked straight to the office, put a gun in the manager's face, and demanded money. After getting cash from the safe, the suspect fled on foot. So far, no arrests have been made. Anyone with information is asked to call Coon Rapids Police.
Tips from the public have led to the arrest of a man suspected in an attempted armed robbery of a convenience store in Coon Rapids last month. 27-year-old Keith Kingsley of St. Louis Park made his first court appearance in Anoka County this week, where he is charged with second-degree aggravated robbery. The incident happened at the Angels Food Market off Hanson Boulevard the morning of January 17th. Investigators say Kingsley entered the store, placed a bag on the counter, and demanded money, all while implying he had a weapon. He's also accused of robbing the Dark Tan in Champlin that same day.
Anoka County is moving forward with remodeling plans that will increase security at the courthouse. Late last month, the Anoka County Board awarded 2 contracts for the 4-phase project that will start this year. The first phase of the project involves constructing a secure courtroom on the west side of the building. Work is expected to be finished by the end of this year. Next year, a new secure in-custody courtroom will be built on the east side of the courthouse with holding cells and a new elevator for inmates. 2 other courtrooms will be remodeled. The construction will cost between $5.5 and $6.5 million. Well, things are back to normal at the Coon Rapids Dam this week following a big mess late last week.
An electrical issue prevented a gate on the Anoka County side from being lowered, which caused a backup of water. Anoka County captured the flooding and posted these clips on YouTube. Water from the Mississippi River came pouring over a portion of the walkway and into the park. Late Friday, DNR staff had to manually lower one of the gates to get things back to normal by Saturday. As a precaution during the flooding, the park was closed off at the gatehouse entrance.
The city is looking for residents interested in becoming paid on-call firefighters. You can learn more about the opportunity at an information session planned on Wednesday, March 11th at Fire Station 1. It runs from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. No training or experience is necessary, but you must meet a 10-minute response time. Training will be provided by the city. The salary is $12 an hour. The deadline to apply is March 20th. You can do so by logging onto the city's website at coonrapidsmn.gov. Still to come on CTN News, not 1, but 2 concerts on the same night this week.
Plus, Chick-fil-A making plans to open another restaurant in the North Metro. Also ahead, a proposal that would bring new life to an old shopping center on the Coon Rapids-Blaine border. We'll have details.
And a popular musical opening in downtown Anoka this weekend with a twist. A preview when we return.
Don't miss the Wedding Expo at the Coon Rapids Civic Center on Saturday, March 7th. Find all your wedding vendors in one place. Meet photographers, cake decorators, event planners, and more. Tickets can be purchased at the door. The Wedding Expo at the Coon Rapids Civic Center on Saturday, March 7th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. See you there.
A longtime electronics retailer, which filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy last week, is planning to close or sell off half of its stores.
Here in Minnesota, more than 24 Radio Shack locations could be on the chopping block. Now, 2 of those stores are located in Blaine, one at Northtown Mall and the other at the Village of Blaine Shopping Center. For now, the Riverdale location here in Coon Rapids is safe. For years, Radio Shack has struggled due to competition from other retailers and the internet. As part of the bankruptcy process, there is a deal in the works that would allow Sprint to open more mini stores in more than 1,700 surviving Radio Shack locations.
A rundown shopping center on the Coon Rapids-Blaine border could soon get some new life. The city of Blaine is considering a $17 million proposal to redevelop Oak Park Plaza off University Avenue. Currently, nearly 70% of the center is vacant, according to Triland Properties Incorporated, which owns the center. A smaller Cub Food supermarket would anchor the redeveloped site. If approved, construction could begin as soon as this summer, with an opening by the spring of 2016. Another Chick-fil-A restaurant could be coming to the North Metro. Last month, the Blaine City Council approved a setback variance for the restaurant, proposed to be built off County Road 10 near Northtown Mall. It would be in the same area as Potbelly's and Chipotle. The Chick-fil-A would be 4,600 square feet and include a drive-through. No word yet on when the new restaurant plans to open.
A popular musical opens this weekend in downtown Anoka with a twist. The Lyric Arts Main Street stage is presenting the award-winning play Into the Woods, which weaves together several well-known stories of the Brothers Grimm fairy tales. CTN Steve Antis has more.
So, into the woods, the time is now, we have to live, I don't care how.
This Stephen Sondheim musical, Into the Woods, has drawn talent, both amateur and professional, from across the Twin Cities.
Things are only what you need them for.
Director Matt McNabb said more people auditioned for this show at the Lyric Arts Main Street stage than for any other play in the theater's history.
We've had actors requesting this show for years. It's one of the most popular shows for actors and singers.
Off to bed without supper for you.
Little did they know.
The storyline for Jack and the Beanstalk and the other fairy tales moves forward with help from the narrator, played by 13-year-old Carter Skull of Coon Rapids.
At the beginning, it was overwhelming.
It's his first experience in community theater in a role normally cast with older men. But Carter says he doesn't think the audience will see it as a problem.
They can see a kid telling this story and coming up with all these wacky parts, you know, all that funny stuff. You could think, yeah, I guess a kid would, you know, imagine that.
Me and my hair.
Actress and soprano Molly Jo Hall from Northeast Minneapolis plays Rapunzel. Back in her college theater days, Hall played a different role in the show.
I played the witch, so it's actually really fun to be in all the same scenes and be the exact opposite character.
And they're all presented with very, very difficult challenges that push them to their absolute limits.
In Anoka, Steve Antis, CTN News.
All performances for opening weekend are sold out, but performances of Into the Woods continue through March 8th. You can catch the show Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, and also on Sunday afternoons. For more information on tickets or to see a complete list of shows planned this season, log on to lyricarts.org.
Dozens gathered in the Civic Center Thursday night for an unforgettable tribute to Nat King Cole. Straighten Up and Fly Right was presented as the second of 4 concerts in the annual Dessert and Coffee Concert Series, which is sponsored by the Coon Rapids Arts Commission. The performance is a retrospective of the life, story, and recording career of musician Nat King Cole. 2 more concerts remain in the series. On March 19th, Lachlan Road plays its Celtic tunes, and on April 9th, it's the 50 Sounds of the Holy Rockarollas. All concerts begin at 7 p.m. in the Civic Center. The admission fee includes dessert and a beverage.
Another concert across town Thursday night. This one was an official event for Snowflake Days. Martin Zeller performed for the crowd at the Bunker Hills Event Center. Over the last 2 decades, he's released a number of solo recordings as well as performed with the band that became known as Martin Zeller and the Hardways. The 51-year-old plays alternative country and rock music. This is the final weekend for Snowflake Days, so tonight there's a snowball dance taking place from 7 to 11 in the Coon Rapids Civic Center. On Saturday, a youth ice fishing tournament is being held, weather permitting, from 10 a.m. to noon on Crooked Lake. Also Saturday, there's a children's carnival from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Cross of Christ Lutheran Church, complete with face painting, a DJ, and a magic show.
A novel-turned-movie is heating up the big screen this Valentine's Day weekend. Howie Shapiro has a preview of that and more in this week's Now Showing.
So this is just an interview for the newspaper. I just have a couple of questions. Mr. Gray will see you now.
50 Shades of Grey. Literature student Anastasia Steele's life changes forever when she meets handsome yet tormented billionaire Christian Grey.
I don't do romance. My tastes are very singular. You wouldn't understand.
What do you see? I see potential. Kingsman is an international intelligence agency operating at the highest level of discretion. If you're prepared to adapt, you can transform into a spy. Interested?
Oh, yes.
Kingsman, the Secret Service. A spy organization recruits an unrefined but promising street kid into the agency's ultra-competitive training program, just as a global threat emerges from a twisted tech genius.
Mankind is the virus, and I'm the cure.
Sounds like a lot of people are going to die.
Do I look like I give them?
I'm Howie Shapiro, and that's what's showing.
All right, 2 different kinds of movies this weekend, but it looks like both with shirtless people.
And the theaters will be packed. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend.